the lead generation with CB Connect. And again, thanks for joining me this morning. All right, so our quick introduction on CB Connect is it truly is a mobile marketing amplifier. The system has 3 different components, some of which you all might already have some hands-on experience with, some of which you all might not necessarily interact with on a regular basis. I'm going to go ahead and go into all 3. First of all, of course, we have the Home Search mobile app, and that is a keyword-based system where your customers can text your name to the 35620 text short code phone number in order to receive a link to your home searching app. And that app is GPS enabled, so it can locate where your customers are when they're driving around looking at houses. Also, you have the ability to do your mobile property websites, which are created within the desktop platform for CB Mobile Connect. And this is something you put together when you import a listing in or you manually fill the listing out. You assign a code to the listing, and then you have the ability to either distribute the code or request that people text the code in to the 35620 phone number. The third component has changed a little bit in recent months, and this is a fun new addition to our system. And that, of course, is our automated voice information system. This AVR, automated voice recognition, will go ahead and GPS locate your customers when they're calling you from the sign in front of the house. So, of course, you know if somebody's driving around, they pull up in front of the house and they say, hey, I really like the way this looks. Let's find out more information. I'm going to call. You all know that's a really hot lead. That's a hot buying signal that you've gotten from that customer. However, in this day and age, sometimes customers are a little bit hesitant to go ahead and call an office or speak to a human being. So, of course, they have the ability to call in and receive instant information on your property. The system looks at where they're at by where their phone signal's coming from and automatically recognizes what house to give them the information on. It is magical. So when they get into that, they will also get a text message with the property information. Now, with the addition of our new agent-specific phone numbers, which are Agent IQ numbers, what happens then is that is an individual agent number that you all have access to now, and you can do that or your office phone number, and more things happen, of course, with your individual agent phone number. We are going into all 3 of these much more in depth now. So for today's plan, we're going to talk about how to connect with all 3 different components of the CB Connect system. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to get in to set up your mobile websites and assign your property codes, how to demonstrate in your listing presentation. So we'll talk about that for a couple minutes. Sellers love the system. So we'll talk about how to get your customers to use it and how to generate leads from this system when in your advertising, and then identify some key components to drive responses from your marketing, which will help you track where your prospects are coming from. First thing we'd like to do is go ahead and get you all connected or talk about getting connected with your agent app. So if you have not already saved a contact on your cell phone, it would be a great time right now to go ahead and grab your cell and create a new contact. Go ahead and label it CB Connect if you like, and save that code 35620. Once you've saved the code 35620, again, that is just a short phone number. It operates just like the regular phone numbers we're used to, except for it is texting only. You'll send a text message to the 35620 with the words .signal in the message line. And when you do that, you will receive a message back that is a link to your .signal mobile back office. This is where when you guys are on the go and you're out in the field where most realtors spend all of their time, you all will be using this more often than the desktop platform. Now, once that link has come in, you will go ahead and press the link and open it up on your phone. And then you're going to want to open the menu up. If you are on an Android, it's typically stacked lines or stacked dots in the upper left or upper right of your phone screen. If you are on an Apple, in the bottom menu, you will see it looks like a box with an upward pointing arrow. Either way, you can go into your menus and then use your Add to Home Screen or Save to Home Screen option. What this does is this creates an icon on your home screen, which is basically an app icon, but this is an internet-based app. So we'll go ahead and save it, and you can go directly into it when the time comes and when you need to. Once you have texted the word .signal to the phone number 35620 and you have received your link, then you will go ahead and either save it to your home screen or we can go ahead and move forward. Getting you all connected to the .signal phone and get your registration for your phone number is something that you all will need to make a note to do after the webinar. You will go to the link that I have written in blue at the bottom of your screen. It's www.signal.com/IQ-numbers/register. When you go in, you'll hit the Continue button, press Enter, and this questionnaire will walk you through a series of steps to register for a phone number that is unique to you. This phone number is one that your prospects can call, or they can also text the word info to this phone number in order to receive information on your listing that they are in front of or listings that you have. Go ahead and make a quick note of what this URL is so you can go to it and complete the process after the webinar. It takes less than 5 minutes to do. Once you have submitted the request, the .signal, which of course is our CB Connect vendor, and they receive your request, they will go ahead and put you into the system, and usually within about 48 hours you will get a response back that will tell you that they've given you your phone number. It will give you the phone number that you all can save, and you can move forward. And this is some information about the IQ phone number and what this does for you. You have this IQ phone number that is, again, it's an agent-specific information hotline for your listings. And you can put it on your yard signs. So, of course, you see the graphic here. So your customers can either call the phone number and listen to the instant voice recognition readout of property information, or they can text the word info to your phone number in order to receive information on your specific property. One of the great features about this is that they do have the ability to route the phone call to you. So if they listen to the property information or if they would rather just speak to you immediately, they can go ahead and choose that option once they dial in. So this is definitely a nice thing to do in order to bring in leads for your listings. If they text the word info, it will go ahead and start sending them information on your listings. So something else that's kind of interesting is that all of your listing inventory will go out to this prospect, not necessarily just the one that they are sitting in front of the house. Definitely a great thing for you all for cross-marketing, especially if you are someone that is working heavily in a specific farm area, which really could bring in a lot more leads for you. So again, in order to get registered for your individual agent phone number, it's www.signal.com/IQ-numbers/register. Now, going ahead and setting up a mobile property website is something else that is very important for your listings. In order to do that, you will go to the desktop version of the platform in order to create that site. The URL for that is cbmobileconnect.com. And once you go to cbmobileconnect.com, you will see the button, Login to CB Mobile Connect. So you go in through that particular link. And your login information is very specific. It is your company email address. So that is your user ID that you put in. Your password is going to be your first name followed up by the numbers 123. Once that is your initial password, once you log in, you can go in and change your password. Of course, if you do so, please be sure to make a note or change it to a password that you use frequently so you don't get logged out and locked out. So again, in order to get in, it is your company email address. So of course, mine is a Florida Moves email address. And then your first name, 123. So it would be, say, John, 123, or Jennifer, 123, in order to get you into the system. Now, once you've logged in, you will end up on a dashboard that looks a bit like this. It will, if you're able to scroll down on your dashboard, you're going to see a certain number of metrics. So this, of course, will give you some information on what's happening with your listings that you're advertising through the system. But for now, we're going to go ahead and go into how to set up these mobile property websites. This is a lot of fun, and this is something you all will get a huge amount of mileage out of. In order to do that, first thing you'll do is go to the Properties tab, which is front and center in the dashboard. First thing you will do is go to the property codes up towards the top right, and where it says select an available code, you will do a drop down and see what codes are available in your account. Now, if you do not have codes in your account, don't sweat it. We get as many codes as we need. All you'll need to do is just shoot a quick email or put in a request to your office administrator, and your OA can go ahead and reassign some codes, put them in your account so you have them accessible for your marketing. Back to creating your properties, you select the code. And then we have two different ways to build this mobile property website in here. CB Connect or .signal, they are one and the same. They have the IDX connection already imported into your platform for you. So you can plug in the MLS number or the street address for your listing and then hit search. That will go ahead and automatically populate a good amount of information directly in from your MLS entry. Now, if you are building a mobile property website in preparation for a listing appointment, of course the house is not in the MLS yet because you're getting ready to take that listing this afternoon or tomorrow. So in that circumstance, you will need to fill out the form and manually define the property information. Even if you do that MLS number import and you import the information, I do highly recommend reviewing and editing the information so it is something that is applicable and reflective of how your customer is reading it. Remember, this is a mobile property website, so any of the information the customer is getting, they will be reading on their phone screen, which is relatively small. So key to this is to go ahead and keep the information simple, but of course you want it to be dynamic and include a call to action that gives them enough information that it gets their interest, but it doesn't give them all of the information. You want them to contact you, but we'll get into that in a moment. So once you have imported the information, your recognition box will pop up once you plugged in the MLS number. So that's where you select the address. So you would click on the address, and then everything is automatically imported for you. See what that looks like. And then when you go to the second tab, which is the manually defined property information tab, you will go to a page that looks like this. You're going to see three fields: text message copy, mobile website copy, and the IVR property description readout. This is how you fill out the information that your customer receives in multiple avenues. Text message copy, just for the purposes of explanation, let's say I am a buyer and I see an advertisement for a house that I'm like, wow, that's a great one. I think it might be in the area that I'm looking at. I'd like more information. Oh, I see there's a code, and I can text and ask for more information. So I text in, and I am going to receive a text message back that is automated from the system with whatever is in this first field. So whatever this is, I have Parade of Homes Grand Award winner. That is something that will be included. It will say, click the link for more information. So the customer in their text message will have a link to the mobile property website. Your mobile website copy is the description and basically your remarks that are shown as the selling language and your selling copy that shows up on that mobile website. So that is something that should be written in an advertising format. And then the IVR property description readout. That is when someone calls in and the voice recognition system is reading them the information over the phone. This is what that system will say. There's 3 very different marketing methods that you are employing in this single screen. Instead of showing you guys too specific of a screenshot, I would like for you all to see this in action. Grab your phone and send a text message to CB Connect, which is 35620. So send a text message to 35620. And in the text message body, you will put in the code 468149. That is the property code that I have assigned to this listing for our class today. I've got 2 so far, 3, 4. I wish you guys could see this blowing up on my phone right now. It is so fun. This gives me the opportunity to let you all know that this has caller ID enabled. So anytime someone texts or calls for information, you all will get a text message, an email, and also an addition in your contacts in your account of that person. So you all have the ability to generate prospects. My phone's blowing up. All right, I have more than 20 in. So when the customer sends in the code, the 468149, in the first screenshot that you see that is outlined in red, agents get this. So when I'm talking about my phone blowing up, what I am saying is that when I go into my text messages, I can look and see right here, it says new CB Connect lead. It will have a name. Whatever name is on the cellular account will show up. So for example, it could be wireless caller, it could be John Smith, whatever the customer has on their cellular account is going to show up in that caller ID. It identifies the property that they were inquiring on for me, so I can see that it's Ashton Oaks Cove in Longwood, Florida. And in order to get the information on this customer so I can give them a call or shoot them a quick text message, I would be able to press the next little icon, which is that dot signal loop, and that will take me back to my mobile back office and say, hey, John Smith just asked for information on your property. You should probably call him right now. Now, what you see down in the bottom text message, it says CB Connect, Parade of Homes Grand Award winner. That might sound a little bit familiar because if we go back, you will see text message copy, Parade of Homes Grand Award winner. For more info and photos, visit, and then it is a link to the property. Of course, regulations require that they do have the ability to opt out of text messages from the system if they choose to, so the text message does have to finish out with that. Once the customer presses the link, which you guys may have done already, holy moly, I have more than 70 text messages. You guys are all participating. Thank you very much. When I go into the mobile website, you will see what is on the right. You're going to see that this linked the customer not only to the mobile website, but they also have a link to view more properties. So this is a nice way of getting your app into the hands of customers in a very ninja-like fashion above and beyond the property information itself. To demonstrate the CB Connect system in a listing presentation, This is something I want you all to become proficient with, because this system in its exact form is proprietary to Coldwell Banker. Other companies cannot touch us when it comes to our mobile marketing and the instant response technology that we have set up for our agents to use. It really will set you apart in your market if you know how to use it and how to demonstrate it. So it might be fun to get together with some of your coworkers, with your manager, with friends, family, somebody else with a cell phone in order to play with this and demonstrate. And how you do that is go in and manually create a mobile property website for your prospective listing. So a day or two in advance of that listing appointment, drive by the house, take a really nice picture of the outside of the property. Photos mean everything in our advertising. And go in and manually create that mobile property website on that cbmobileconnect.com desktop platform that we were just in. Now, when you have that done and you have that ready, you'll have a property code assigned to the listing. So it's ready to go. You already have a demonstration of the dynamic marketing that you have the ability to do. So now it's time to demonstrate how that works in your customer's favor. Remember, this is a benefit selling situation. So when you get to the section in our listing presentation that is discussing Coldwell Banker's instant response technology, it's fun to get your phone out, turn your ringer on so they can hear that text message come in, and have your seller or your prospective seller get out their cell phone and tell them about this system. Say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, we really pride ourselves in having the state-of-the-art technology that sets your listing apart and sets us apart as agents in our industry. And instant response is something that is pretty much required. So I want you to see this one in action because this is something that I feel will greatly benefit my ability to sell your house quickly and come in contact with anybody that has interest in it to get that done. So send a text message to the phone number 35620 and put in your property code. And your property code is 123456, whatever code you have assigned. Have them follow the exercise that I just did with you. They will receive the text message with the link, Parade of Homes Grand Award winner, click here for more information. They press the link on their phone, and what pops up on their screen instantly, but a beautiful mobile website on their house that's already set up and ready to go. What a professional example of beautiful technology at work. But at the same time, they're also going to hear your phone go off with a text message, and you can show them in your text messages, hey, look, I have your phone number. Is this your phone number? Wonderful. Well, this is how things work with all of the buyers that request information on your house from me. I have the ability to follow up with them immediately and instantly in order to set that showing appointment and get them in to see the house so we can get your house sold. If you demonstrate this in a listing appointment, this sets you apart by miles from the competition. One of the first times I taught this class in the Orlando metro area, I had an agent take it into a listing appointment the very next day. I taught the class on a Friday, and Jill had her class on a Saturday, and she sent me an email Saturday afternoon saying, I demonstrated it, and the seller signed at 7%. And results like that are why I love teaching and why I love this system, because it is proof that this works. So don't forget to explain the phone number feature. Also, let them know that even if someone is not necessarily comfortable sending text messages, if they do want to call, that you have a unique phone number that is specific to you on the yard sign in front of the house that will geolocate the customer that they're asking for information. Now, when it comes to getting people connected with that mobile search app, I do like to recommend using this as a mobile business card. Mobile business cards are great. You know, business cards in general are great. They help you share contact information with people, but it's a lot more fun to share something useful. And what is useful in the real estate business that does not involve shopping for houses. Even if someone is not in the market today, you know that every person is watching what's happening in their neighborhood. That is just the nature of society. So this is something that most people will find interesting, and it's something that most people will keep. There's a couple different ways to get this mobile search app into the hands of a new contact or a new prospect above and beyond the listing focused. So if we want to go ahead and put on a buyer agent hat here, we can, but don't forget this works for sellers as well. If you have the new contact, text your name to the 35620 phone number, your first and your last name. So for example, my name is Jennifer Craig, and if someone texts Jennifer Craig to 35620, they're instantly going to get a link with my phone number and with my app, and I will instantly get that person's contact information because this wonderful caller ID feature kicks in again. So we have immediately traded contact information, but I've also given them something that is valuable and something that's useful. So when they press the link, which of course has the blue and white Coldwell Banker logo, the link to the home search app does look different. We have the mobile admin platform, our mobile business center that we use, which has the .signal logo. That, of course, is our vendor for CB Connect. And then you have the branded version, and the branded is a different one. That's the blue CB. Once they go into it, they will need to allow location services for this app. App does need to be able to figure out where they're at so we can give them the right information for where they're located at in the world and give them the correct listings. So be sure they press OK to allow current location usage, and then they can go ahead and add to their home screen the exact same way that we did to save the agent side on your phones. So if you're on an Android, again, you will go into your menu, which is the top left or the top right. It's either 3 stacked dots or it is 3 stacked lines. If you are on an Apple, then you have the ability to go into the bottom box with the upward pointing arrow. When the customer is in there and they've saved it, you will see that it has a bunch of big buttons on the front. They can call or text or email directly from here to your cell phone. It's an instant connection with you as their agent, which is a nice feature above and beyond searching for the houses. The other way to get your app into a customer's phone, if you meet somebody out and about and maybe you would like to ask for their contact information, but you're a little bit hesitant to, or maybe you feel like the person might be kind of lukewarm, and you can say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Prospect, text my name to 35620. That will go ahead and give you a mobile business card and also a home search app that you can go ahead and put me in your contacts with. When you do that, you are giving them the control of the situation. The flip side is you have the ability to text a link to your app directly to the prospect if you have their cell phone number. Now, this is something that I highly recommend doing at an open house because you can text properties individually as well. So in order to push it out to a prospect, instead of asking a customer to retrieve it via text message, you would go into that original mobile back office app that we downloaded at the beginning of this webinar, or that we saved at the beginning of the webinar. Your mobile back office is the little green loop that almost looks kind of like a streak of paint in a circle, modern art, if you will. That is the icon that you go into. Once you press it, and you go to the app, it lands you on your dashboard. And on the screen right now, you will see that on your far left. Next to the word dashboard, you see the stacked lines, which indicate that there is a menu. If you click that button, you can go in that direction, or you can go directly to the what would you like to do Select Action drop-down. So that is one that I like to do just because it's front and center. I select the drop-down, and it is a quick, direct placement to where I want to go. First thing is Send My Search App. But if you look closely, you will see other options underneath. Send a property, send a price reduction, and so on and so forth. If you want to send your search app to someone, there's not a specific property you all are discussing, you will choose that first one. If you all are discussing a particular property, say at an open house, then you can go ahead and send a property and you can text them information. It is a very eco-friendly as well as advantageous technique for a real estate agent to use. You make your choice. Next thing you want is to say, all right, who am I sending it to? So your step 2, you will see that underneath Communicator, you have a menu that is a horizontal menu across the top of your screen. There's a little person icon and a circle with a number in it. It will start with 0. You do have the ability to send out group or mass text messages with this system. And the more people you have in there, the higher that number gets. You can send it to prospects that have already contacted you. You can also send it to people that are in your address book here. In this hypothetical circumstance, you just met a customer at an open house. They're not in your system yet. You're trying to get them put into your system. So when you go to New Contact, your first tab, you have the ability to enter the person's name and mobile number. It's a very simple conversation with the prospect. Hey, Mr. Buyer, Mrs. Buyer, and I can go ahead and text you information on the property if you like, but it also includes a mobile-enabled GPS-located home search app as well. So you will be able to save the information on the house that we're standing in now, but also when you leave, you have the ability to see what else is for sale in the area. So even if this one doesn't work out for you, it does have the ability to help you find out what else is for sale on the market. Remember, not every house that's available on the market that's available for sale has a sign in the front yard. So if you all are driving around and the sign doesn't have the sign is not in the front yard, this will still alert you that, hey, this house is available, this house is for sale. And if you have an interest in seeing it, all you have to do is click a click button and I can set a showing appointment for you. It's very, very simple. So it's an easy conversation to have. There's a substantial advantage to the customer, not only receiving the electronic information on the property that you met at, but also the GPS-enabled home searching app. So they almost always say yes, because you're not saying, hey, what's your phone number? You're saying, hey, I'm going to go ahead and text you this information. Let me go ahead and put that in. And they're receiving the text message right there when you're standing there face-to-face. It's a very different response that you get from the consumer in this circumstance. So you plug their name in, you plug in their mobile number, hit your save button, you move on to the next, which is the little envelope icon, and you create your message. A message is already placed in there for you, but if you would like to edit it, you can go ahead and type and update that at the time if you choose. And then, of course, your phone number is included right there in the message, in the text message as well. And then you move on to your final step, which is that arrow pointing off to the right. So you move down in order to double check your work. It says review properties. If you are sending your search app, it is normal for it to say 0. Keep that in mind. If you choose Send My Search App, that will always say 0, but that does not mean it's not sending them a text message. It is. It's just sending them to the home screen of the search app instead of a property inside of it. Next thing, review contacts. So make sure that whoever you plugged in, if you plugged in both, 2 people and to receive the information, say it's a couple that you met at the open house, that should say 2. Otherwise, it will, of course, say 1. You can hit Send Now, or you do have the ability to schedule text messages to go out in the near future in the system as well. In this particular circumstance, you will typically use the Send Now option. When you've done that, when you get into your system later on and you go into your prospects, In your prospects, you will see you will have the person's information, you will have the person's phone number, and you have the ability to text or call directly out of your agent app here as well. So the system does log all of this information for you. Very, very helpful, especially, again, when you're out on the road. Now, in order to tie these things together, in order to generate some business using print marketing, we're going to go back to that property code that we set up with your mobile property website. One of the challenges that real estate agents have when we're spending money on, say, mailers, on postcards, is that you could spend several $100s sending out a beautiful, dynamic, glossy piece of art and not know the type of response that you have because it is a one-sided advertising method. You're giving people information, but you're giving it to them and it does not require a response on their part. So agents do not have a way to understand whether or not people actually read the postcard that they received in their mailbox, or if it went directly into their recycle bin or their garbage can. A method that you can employ in order to try and generate more and get a little bit more feedback and more action on these mailers that are going out is to go ahead and put a certain amount of information. These are most effective with the just listed and just sold postcards in a neighborhood. So of course here I have Parade of Homes winner, amazing Gulfront estate. It's now available, but I have a teaser in here. And this teaser says, for instant access to all details plus full photos of the spectacular lifestyle home, text the property code to phone number 35620. Notice that I did not put the price in. Everybody wants to know how much that Parade of Homes winner is going for, especially if they live a few houses down the road or right around the corner. Neighbors always want to know. But they also want to know what is on the inside of that particular property. I included to see all of the photos of the spectacular lifestyle home. That's some energy added to that language in order to give somebody a reason to ask for the information. They want to know the price. They want to see the pictures. We know that from all of our market studies. But we've dangled that carrot and said, well, if you want to know how much it costs and you want to see that amazing kitchen or that incredible pool area, whatever the feature is on that particular property, you're going to have to send a text message to get it. The caller ID kicks in, and then you, of course, get the information on the people that are asking about that particular property. So that benefits you because you can generate leads, just a quick follow-up phone call in order to say, hey, you know, I understand that you requested some information on the Parade of Homes winner. That is a beautiful house. Do you live in the area currently? And when you do that, you have the ability to open up a conversation, get to know the person a little bit more, and say, well, yeah, I actually live down the street, and oh, okay, you know, have you been there a while? Engage them in conversation, get to know them, and when you get to know them, you can build the relationship and hopefully generate some listing leads from this. Don't forget to throw in, this is a feature that I put on all of my listings. This property code, we have a very dynamic, interactive, instant response marketing for our listings. So if you are considering selling, I'd love to demonstrate that for you. You can see how effective it is in following up with people that have an interest in a property. You can use that property code pretty much anywhere you think of. So let's get creative with it. When it comes to your app, you can use that call to action. Text my name to 35620 to receive instant app access to all homes for sale in the area. Now keep in mind this does tie into your MLS membership. So be specific that it is in your area. So if you post this on social media and someone is in California and you're in Florida, they're not going to be able to search for houses on California. It will be specific to your MLS. You can put that in social media posts. Your In Touch Marketing Center that is something that is completely appropriate to use in your call to action. Any print material, whether it's a door hanger or just a more general message postcard, whatever, you have the ability to do that. You can put it in your email signature, make car magnets, put it on the back of your business cards. There are so many places that you can put that call to action that is specific to your home search app, and I'm sure there's many other things that I've left out. So get creative with it. Get in the habit of putting text my name to 35620 everywhere you go, and wait and see. Look for those text messages as they come in. And then when it comes to a specific listing, the sky is the limit on how to use a property code, a property-specific mobile website in order to generate leads on that particular home. And for the record, just so you all know, you do have the ability to generate a mobile website either manually or do an MLS import on your office listings. It's not just your listings. And so be sure you discuss this with your manager and with the listing agent if you're doing an open house on another agent's listing. But most of the time, everybody is very supportive of these efforts. You do have the ability to do that as well. So for open house on social media, put a picture of the house with the event, the time and the date, and a caption in there. For instant access to complete event details, text whatever the property code is to 35620. And then make sure that in that mobile website copy that you have for that particular house, that you have open house Sunday from 1 to 4 at 123 Main Street, anywhere, USA, whatever that happens to be. That on social media for all of your friends and followers to see. This would also be an appropriate usage of social media advertising in order to boost that post and generate some leads. Remember, if people are going to text for information on that open house because they found it interesting, that means that they are actively looking in the real estate market right now. So you will get a higher quality lead from using this type of approach. Now, when it comes to new listings, you can employ a similar technique. Put in the photo and the general location with a caption. Great new house for sale in Longwood, Florida, gated community, and of course a picture of the house. For instant access to the price and full interior photos, text the property code to 35620. Once you have generated enough information on or enough leads using this system off of a single property, you can send out a mass text to anybody who contacted you through that property for open houses and price reductions. You also have the ability to put together a price reduction campaign, as you see right here. Put a photo, the amount of the reduction with a caption for instant access to the new price and full interior photos, text property code to 35620. Note in the captions of these first three, for instant access is a phrase that has been repeated. Remember, you have to tell the customer what they get, and instant access is something that most people want. We are in an instant gratification society. That's one of the reasons text messaging is so effective. So when you let them know that they're receiving that instantly, you are conveying a little bit of a sense of privacy, as well as, okay, I'm going to get what I want. I don't really have to do a whole lot. Yes, I will send a text message. And so it increases your chances of success a little bit. For your just solds, a photo listed at price, not the sold price, what the listing price was, the general location, so, maybe the city. Your caption teaser could be, find out how much it sold for. For more information, text property code to 35620. So, a lot of different ways to use a property in order to generate leads out there on your social media sites, as well as use your app, which is a more generalized call to action, also incredibly useful. But in order to find new listing leads, you also could post a graphic of a locally appropriate home. So, don't post a house that looks like it belongs in Arizona when you live in Florida. You know what I mean. You could put in the caption, thinking of selling, text whatever code you've assigned to this locally appropriate home to 35620 to see how quickly I'll sell your home for top dollar, plus a complimentary bonus. You'll get a custom market economics report specific to your neighborhood. Someone's like, all right, well, I'll bite. I'm thinking of selling. I wonder what this is all about. So they text the property code. They instantly receive the mobile property website that you could say, hey, this could be your house. And within a couple minutes, you instantly call them and say, hey, I understand you're thinking about selling your house. If you'd like to go ahead and share your address with me, I will go ahead and run some market economic studies for you so you can start to wrap your head around what you will expect during the selling process. And then, of course, you can go into MarketQuest. If you can do a Market Insider report if you have Pro and InTouch, or you can go into RPR and do all kinds of different reports in that particular system. So Coldwell Banker has plenty of options for you in order to generate a market economics report. The key to this is I would not do a full CMA, guys. Remember, if you give something away for free, it has no value. You want to give them information on what's going on in their area. You want to show them what's going on a little more of a generalized level so you can continue to have that conversation and you can continue to build that relationship, and you can gauge how serious they are or whether there's someone that's looking for property value for free just because they were bored at 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. So again, you can use the manual creation of a property in this desktop system in order to put together a teaser listing in order to use for listing lead generation purposes. That would also be an appropriate usage for social media posts and social media boosts. Finally, you want to measure your market response. So not only are you going to have an idea of what's going on in your life and in your system by how many text messages you've gotten, you have the ability to take a single property and you can assign different codes to the same property to use with different marketing channels. So for example, let's go back to our test listing, the Ashton Oaks Cove that you all received the information on, our Parade of Homes winner. If I was sending out mailers and I was putting together a print piece that went out, say, in a local Homes and Land, and I was also doing a social media campaign, all three of which are appropriate advertising for this type of property, if I want to see where I'm getting my leads from so I can measure the success of my marketing efforts, I could use 3 separate property codes, tie them all to the same property, so I can say, all right, using the first code, I had 10 responses from the mailer. Using the second code, I had 5 responses from the print. Using the third code, I had 12 responses from boosting that post in social media. So you can start to figure out where your prospects are, where they spend their time, and you also know how to best devote your marketing dollar in the future. Also, your sign, when the sign is in the front yard, if you have leads coming in from the CB Connect system off of that yard sign, they are already tagged and separated for you without having to use a separate code because that goes through the voice recognition, not the text code system. So you don't have to worry about that at all. It's already done for you. And then, of course, when you are logging into your mobile back office on your phone, you can see what's going on. That is part of the mobile platform, but it's also part of the desktop platform. So you can go in and take a look at your metrics, which will show you. You can see over here, I can show the leads. Right now I have them set for all, but of course it is a pie chart of how this is. And then I'm going to wrap up with a little bonus. Our hour is about up. If you go into the Communicator tab, you have the ability to send bulk text messages. I did briefly reference this earlier in our webinar. This is ideal for texting price reductions, open houses, property-specific messages. There's all kinds of different options in there. So when you go into Communicator, and you create broadcast, you follow the steps on the screen. First thing you do is you hit the button that says craft your message. So that's when you're saying, all right, I'm sending out my property app, or I'm sending out a price reduction. Say our Ashton Oaks Cove house gets a price reduction, and I need to send a broadcast out to everybody who's contacted me on it and just say, hey, listen, we talked about this house a few weeks ago. I wanted to let you know the seller just dropped the price. So if you have an interest and you would like to take another look at the property, I'm having an open house on Saturday afternoon. You can go ahead and craft that in a single text message and push it out to every lead that has been generated by that property in the system in one fell swoop. So you just follow the steps. Step 1, you craft your message. Step 2, you select your message recipients, and anybody who has contacted you is already in there. And then, of course, step 3, you will go ahead and either schedule the broadcast or send the broadcast now. Now, keep in mind, you can only send out a text message from the system between 6 a.m. and 10 p.m. So if you are a night owl, or maybe it's 10:30 and you're catching up on some work before bed, that's when you would use that schedule broadcast button and go ahead and move forward from there. So it's been a busy hour, and I know I have covered a substantial amount of information. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put together this deck in a PDF form, and I have access to everyone's email through the SailPro system that registered for this. So I'm going to go ahead and put together some print information in order to help you all recreate what we have done today and use it in the future. So you can jump on your computer with your cell phone, with your handy-dandy PDF guide next to you, and go ahead and move forward and start to use this system. Also, I am in the process of scheduling some more webinars for January and February, so there will be a repeat of this coming up in the near future. So I look for that PDF guide in your email. I will probably get that out by this afternoon, and we will go ahead and work on trying to get some connectivity issues troubleshot as well. For those of you that are having problems logging on, go ahead and stay with me. And I need you to just type your name in my chat bar, and I will go ahead and make a note of that and see what I can do to get with our vendor to get everything squared away. Now, if everybody that is been able to log in, thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you all again soon.